Hey guys, what is going on? It is WrestleMania here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Vince McMahon involved in car crash, Vince McMahon to appear in court, WWE star unhappy with Hogan tributes, The Rock makes bold claim, is Kayfabe dead, fans call out WWE, plus much more. Vince McMahon involved in car crash. Vince McMahon involved in car crash. Our top story today looks at news relating to former WWE chairman Vince McMahon, who has reportedly been involved in a serious car accident. TMZ were the first outlet to break the news, and they would report that the accident occurred last Thursday in Connecticut. Former WWE honcho Vince McMahon was involved in a bad car accident last week. TMZ Sports has learned, but thankfully no one was injured. The incident happened around 9 a.m. in Connecticut on Thursday, hours before we broke the news of Hulk Hogan's passing. TMZ's report added that McMahon's Bentley crashed into the back of a BMW, and the crash was so severe that airbags were deployed on both vehicles. According to a crash report we obtained, McMahon's 2024 Bentley was traveling northbound on Route 15 in Westport when it rammed in the back of a 2023 BMW 430 and collided with a median wooden beam guardrail. Debris from the collision flew into the left side of the two-lane highway, and a third vehicle, a Ford Fusion moving southbound, then ran into it. The force of the impact was so severe the airbags were deployed on McMahon's Bentley and the BMW. The report stated all three drivers were wearing their seat belts. The positive news is that nobody was injured in the collision, which is a true miracle based on the photos from the scene. Vince McMahon to appear in court. McMahon to appear in court. Vince McMahon's legal issues are well documented. And now, due to the aforementioned crash, McMahon has another court date to attend. State police issued McMahon a misdemeanor summons for violating two Connecticut general statutes, reckless driving and following too closely, resulting in an accident. McMahon was released on a $500 bond and is now set to appear at the Stamford Superior Court on August 26. The individual who McMahon hit with his vehicle would take to her personal Facebook page. And according to the lady, she's lucky to be alive. Lucky to have survived a horrific car crash on the way up to catch the ferry to Martha's Vineyard last Thursday morning. Both cars totaled. Vince McMahon, former chair of WWE, hit me going 80 to 90 miles per hour as I drove in the right lane of the narrow mirror highway built in the 1930s. I and the dog are mostly fine, but was lucky to have kept control of the car, more or less, as I shot off the road after being catapulted over 100 yards. McMahon or his team have yet to comment on the accident, but a statement is likely due to McMahon being a prominent public figure. WWE to make major SummerSlam change. As things stand, it's believed that Drew McIntyre is still currently stranded in the UK. While sites like Fightful Select have reported that WWE believe McIntyre will be back in time, it's now been reported by WrestleVotes that WWE are putting plans in place in case they need to change the scheduled SummerSlam matchup. I spoke with a source who tells me wheels are in motion for alternative plans in the event Drew McIntyre is unable to get to SmackDown this Friday in New Jersey. What that means for his tag team match against Jelly Roll and Randy Orton at SummerSlam is yet to be determined. If WWE does indeed need to replace McIntyre in the match, then it's looking likely that he'll be replaced by The Miz. The Miz has already cut a social media promo focused on replacing McIntyre, and with Miz having worked with Logan Paul in the past, it makes a lot of sense to include The Miz in the match. Whilst this may be disappointing to many, the match itself would have to be rehearsed in advance due to the involvement of Jelly Roll. WWE will need a veteran that is used to working with celebrities, and The Miz is perfect for that kind of role. WWE star unhappy with Hogan tributes. Hulk Hogan was a controversial name. There's no denying that. And one WWE star is questioned if the company should be celebrating Hogan in any capacity. Jamar Hampton, who is signed to the NXT brand, took to his Instagram page and he posted text from Hogan's infamous racist rant, and he questioned, "Is this really who we should be celebrating? Do your research." Hampton is the first name publicly to take issue with the Hogan tributes in the company, and the post has since been deleted. It's likely that WWE asked Hampton to remove the post, but it's unknown if there's going to be any other fallout from the social media post, or if WWE is just going to move on and pretend like it never happened. The Rock makes bold claim. Rock makes bold claim. WWE Unreal is the talk of social media right now. And one of the more interesting comments in the series comes from The Rock. In episode 4 of the series, The Rock outright claims that his final boss persona that he debuted last year is the greatest heel character in pro wrestling history. The final boss, the greatest heel professional wrestling has ever seen. Insurmountable antagonist. There's nothing the final boss can't do. There's nothing the final boss can't say. Becoming this new version has been the most gratifying decision that I've ever made. This was The Rock speaking, completely out of character. And it's rather unusual to see wrestlers have such a heightened opinion of themselves, especially when reflecting upon their fictional personas. Is Kayfabe dead? Is Kayfabe dead? Whilst the WWE Unreal series has been mostly well received by fans, certain wrestling historians and talent have been critical. Some believe the series goes too far, and WWE should at least try to keep some elements of Kayfabe intact so the illusion isn't completely shattered. One of the names who was unsure of what to make of the series was CM Punk. Punk is a name that has often prided himself on keeping Kayfabe, and he had an interesting stance on whether or not Kayfabe is truly dead. The former WWE champion recently spoke on Effective immediately, and Punk would state that there's an argument to be made that Kayfabe has always been dead, but he will always find a way to make fans believe again. No, you can make a claim that it was dead in the 50s and 60s. If you know your wrestling history, in a way it's always been dead. The true workers, the real magicians, will always find a way to hook people and make people believe. That's our job. I don't care what people see or don't see on Netflix. I'm the master. I will get you. I will figure it out and I will get you. This is a great take on the topic, and Punk has been a total master of this in recent years. During Punk's feuds with the likes of Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, fans are convinced that Punk legitimately hated these men. Whilst there was no denying that there was hostility at one stage between Punk and the aforementioned names, the wrestlers involved were able to act like this was still present during their matches, and it resulted in utter magic from a storytelling perspective. WWE to take over Universal Studios. Over Universal Studios. It's now been confirmed that WWE will have an attraction at Halloween Horror Nights this year, and the attraction will focus on the Wyatt Six. Universal Studios have released an official promo for the attraction, and it looks set that all the major characters in the faction are to be included. The theme park is now also selling exclusive WWE merchandise, and even merchandise for the late great Bray Wyatt, which is great to see. WWE venturing into attractions and theme parks is something that's not been explored in the modern era. And if this year's event goes well and is positively received, it opens the door for more events down the road. There are so many WWE names that could work well in this type of environment, and seeing names such as The Undertaker or Kane receive their own Halloween Horror Nights attraction would make a ton of sense. Main roster star returns to NXT. Nia Jax made a shocking return to NXT TV last night. Jax would attack Lash Legend, and it looks like Jax took issue with Legend eliminating her from the Battle Royal at Evolution. Main roster names appearing on NXT TV is extremely common. However, there is speculation that this program could be moved over to the main roster. Legend is a name that has been rumored to be called up, and with the WWE draft expected at some point this year, this could be the perfect opportunity to call Legend up to either Raw or SmackDown. Fans call out WWE. Speaking of last night's NXT, a certain segment from the show has caused a great deal of controversy. Blake Monroe would cut a promo focused on Jordynne Grace, and the promo would take a dark turn when Monroe took aim at Grace's personal appearance. Monroe would show photos of Grace's body on the screen and proceeded to mock her weight. Fans have been quick to call this out, as this type of writing isn't really something that WWE delivers for the women in 2025. It's seen by many as lazy, and whilst it does obtain cheap heat, it's bottom of the barrel when it comes to an engaging storyline, and WWE could do so much better. Fans also noticed that Monroe's delivery of the promo wasn't exactly great. Monroe looked noticeably uncomfortable, and it was almost as if she was unsure of how to execute a promo with such a toxic message attached to it. There are calls for WWE to change direction when it comes to the rivalry, as these are two of the top women in pro wrestling right now, and the feud truly doesn't need to rely on cheap jabs focused on a wrestler's weight and appearance. AJ Styles wrestling for TNA? Styles wrestling for TNA. Our final story today looks at speculation when it comes to AJ Styles wrestling for TNA. AJ made a shocking appearance at Slammiversary, and this led to rumors that the TNA great could be having one more match in the promotion. Now, these rumors have become even more prevalent, as AJ, in a post on TNA's social media pages, stated that if he were to wrestle for the promotion once more, he would want the match to be special. I hope there's something special as far as the match goes, but I can't promise that. I can't promise you tomorrow what's going to happen to me. I can tell you this, I was very excited. Even I had butterflies tonight. With WWE and TNA having a positive working relationship, the chances of AJ wrestling in TNA again have never been higher. AJ also previously stated that he wouldn't go into the TNA Hall of Fame while still under WWE contract. But with the two companies working together, it's entirely possible that the former world champion stance has changed.